Okay, we're underway. I had a minute of silence because I didn't have my volume turned up, but now it should be good. Hopefully, not too loud. Happy birthday by Victor. All right, so very quickly, and disclaimer A, I may not read the whole script. If I really love it, I will. I'll read as much as I'm interested in, which is hopefully the whole thing. B, I will point out any nitpicky things I see. Like, for instance, I see right here, there's no space between the Tom and the 30s. The other thing I found out not too long ago, this should not be hyphenated. 30s should just be 30S with no thing. So I'll probably do some nitpicky stuff like that. I'll try to stay away from it and focus on the story, the characters, the dialogue, and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. And I'm not going to read the whole thing out loud, obviously. I'll just read sort of under my breath and then make comments out loud. And I'm chewing gum right now because I just did one of these for 45 minutes. And we'll see how this goes. I may have to take a break. The door opens. The front door opens. She takes a seat next to him. Puts the notebook aside. So a little confusion. You say laptop and then you say notebook. So just, I would make that the same. Again, I don't know spacing. There's no spacing there. Exterior mansion courtyard. Split the darkness. So you've got security guards and then you've got bodyguards. I assume they're the same people. It's not clear. His lifeless corpse falls onto the ground. He doesn't drop his corpse onto the ground. That makes it sound like he's physically dropping something. So he gets shot. They're obviously using silencers because we don't hear him get shot. There's no sound at all. It seems like there should at least be some sort of a sound. So they're going to a mansion. They're in an apartment. So, okay. Still nothing. We don't know what he's looking for when he says it, but I guess that's good mystery. The senator. Yes, that sounds like a good typical senator. I don't think you need to say glass pieces because most likely it's going to be glass. Capital senator. His forehead doesn't turn red. I mean, I get what it's going on, but obviously that's probably not the right way to say that. Everyone screams. Who else is there besides the two hookers? The two hookers have already screamed. The senator's not going to scream. He's probably dead. Or she. It could be a she. Timothy pours in. Runs in, dashes in, jumps in, leaps in, comes in. Pours, kind of an interesting adjective. Bodyguard. Security guards, bodyguards. I guess I'm confused. There's security guards patrolling the area. There's bodyguards here, and then there's another bodyguard here. There's no indication of a bodyguard here, but obviously there's a bodyguard in with the senator. Or there's a bunch of them. That's why everybody screams. So this just needs to be set up a little better. So I assume the Nancy is shooting these two before he could. I don't think you need to include that because that doesn't matter. 2 more bodyguards collapse. Period, I guess. Nancy shoots 2 others. Wait a minute. Nancy. Oh. Sorry, Sarah. This is Sarah shoots him. All right. You're such a loser. I'm trying. Okay, it's been 8 months. 8 months. Oh, he's looking for a job, I guess. He's looking on Indeed or Monster or LinkedIn or something. He backs off a bit, but then he yells. Does that mean he backs off physically? There's where are these unpaid bills? Unless she comes in with them, she could come in carrying a stack of paper, sits down next to him, and then throws a bunch of unpaid bills at him. This is sort of worded strangely. So, are they married? Because he says, you don't have a house. She says, you don't have a house, as if this is his apartment. But I assume they're married. I don't know what their last name are. They have no last name, so we don't know for sure that they're married. I assume they are. I mean, Nancy and Tom both know that he doesn't have a job and he doesn't have a house. So Nancy is saying this to the audience, aka exposition, which is not the best way to present that. So this must be her apartment, I guess, and she's kicking him out. I mean, all really she needs to say is, tomorrow you're out of here, or I'm stupid or something. I don't think she needs to say all of this because it's, I guess, apparent. And this is a lot of yelling, but I guess they're in a fight. Everything will be okay, Tom, I'm leaving you. Please don't. Honey, think about it. And then she throws a vase at him. Has she gotten up and... oh, yeah, she did get up. But maybe she has to cross to a table or something. Maybe a little more direction in there. The last 2 bodyguards hit the ground. So there's bodyguards outside and there's security guards. Or maybe they're all in the same... Sarah's out there shooting them. Oh, sorry, interior. So she's inside also in the room with Timothy. We never established that, but maybe she's come in the meantime. Did the 2 girls run out? We don't know. I assume so. Would they leave them alive? Do they have hoods on? Can they be ID'd? She finds a notebook under the couch. Is this a notebook or is this a computer? I'm assuming a notebook. Blanket will kill us. We don't know. Not if we get him first. We don't know who this is. We know that they want to kill him. So this is a computer. Plugs a memory stick. Is this one she pulled out of her pocket? And she's downloading some info, we assume. I think this needs to be a little clearer. Grabs his girlfriend. So Nancy is his girlfriend, so they're not married, okay? So make that clear that that's Nancy. Her cell phone rings. And then she smiles after getting slapped. I would capitalize rings here. I think cell phone is 2 words. Sorry, gotta take this. A decent job and a secure future. That doesn't seem like dialogue that someone would say. Don't tell me to leave. Okay, I mean, I like this. She could just point the phone at him, and it's got a picture of smiling Sean, and then she goes, "Sorry, got to take this." That would be kind of funny. Not funny, but it would be sort of interesting. At least he's gonna. You have nothing but stupid dreams, so he's better than me. I think that's been established. I don't think he needs to say that. This, I mean, she's dating this guy, but this guy has got a decent job and a secure future. So, yeah, I don't quite understand the dynamics. Smarter and much more beautiful. I won't live without, I love you. You'll never be half as good as Sean. So there needs to be some explanation of why Nancy is dating Tom if she, unless the whole time she's been two-timing, which I don't know, this seems to be. They fight for door handle access. Nancy stops this. Yeah, I mean, I get the breakup, but it seems like there needs to be a little more economical way to do that. If you love me. So they fight for door hand. So they fight to grab onto the doorknob, I guess. And then she stops. Oh, pushes aside. That should be singular right there. The door. Touches the door handle. It makes it sound like she puts out a hand like a finger and touches it. If you love me like I'm saying, leaves with a door slam. He cries some more. So he's... so this is a breakup, but it feels like it could be handled a little bit differently. I mean, I think that would be kind of clever if her phone rings, there's a picture of him, of Sean. She shows it to him, and she basically says, sorry, Charlie, I've made my choice, or, you know, I gave you more choices than you deserved, or something like that, and whatever. I don't know, something like that. All right, approach the garage. So they're outside. It opens to reveal. Do they open it? Do they have a garage door opener? How do they open the garage? Because in the garage, the SUV is locked. I don't know if all people lock their doors inside their garage. The two enter tomorrow 5 p.m. at the mall. I'll be there. So they deliver these lines before they get in the car, and then they get in. It feels like they're going to split up now. He's telling her something. She says, I'll be there, and then they leave, but they both get in the SUV. It flashes its headlights across the area. It tears it apart. So it's backed. It must have been backed in the garage. It speeds into the gate. It tears it apart. It probably smashes it. Tearing seems more like cloth or paper. All right, so they killed the guy, and then they talk about someone named Blanket with two K's, two C's, two T's. All right, now we're at the shooting range. Tom's there. He's not happy. He's got a gun. Again, a third time. Is he hitting the targets? Do we know? Well, let's see. The target approaches to reveal the perfect result. Okay. Does this have to be continuous? It just seems like a lot of continuous stuff going on here. Because if he's at a shooting range, so he's at a shooting range, he shoots. We're at this military facility for 15 seconds, and then continuous, which means Tom had 15 seconds between here and here. So that seems a little odd. He's sipping a beer and he's approaching the highway, and yet we're on the street. So I'm a little confused here, but let me see. Late 40s. They salute. They switch sides. They switch sides. We assume it's the two killers. The senator doesn't answer the phone. Did they kill him? Then track down the half-life process. Okay. I'm not laughing at the script. I'm just... they switch sides. Was Blanket or Blanket on the side of the senator? Or are there three sides here and they're double crossing him? The senator doesn't answer the phone. So he's been trying to call the senator. It seems like Blanket needs to have a phone in his hand or something. I don't quite understand this. They switch sides. Is he dead, maybe? He doesn't nod in agreement. It's more like he nods in confirmation, but all you really have to say is the officer nods. Then track down their position. I think they want to track them down. I don't think he would say position. Track them down and kill them. Have them eliminated. Find them and kill them. So, that doesn't seem like something military people would do, just go kill people. So I'm not 100% clear if they switch sides, if the Blanket and the senator are on the same side. I'm not clear on that. He jumps on, he jumps onto the street, but hops back on the sidewalk before a car passes past him. Yeah, this needs to be cleaned up a little. Pushes the cell phone's keys. The cell phone doesn't really have keys. He could just dial a number. I would just say dial a number because you don't, you touch it. Obviously, you don't really push him. Checks his phone again. Checks his phone again for his date. The date it is. Tomorrow's my birthday. Walkers get past. What? He's walking on the sidewalk, I guess. I don't know why he approached the highway and why did he jump onto it. I guess there's a lot of questions here that I'm not 100% clear on. Walkers get past, so they pass him, but they slam into him. Do they elbow him or jar him? And then he stops to admire a watch in like he's window shopping. A shop window, not shopping window. Then he approaches his car, unlocks its doors, and puts the phone next to his ear. Or up to his ear. Listen, honey, we need to talk about this. I'll be at the mall today. I assume he's talking to the Nancy or whatever that threw him out the night before. He's leaving a voicemail. I'll be at the mall today. Does that mean come on over to the mall and let's talk? Or call me? He enters a vehicle. It leaves the area, speeds to the highway. So that's confusing. If he almost walked onto the highway, I don't know if this is a road, like a neighborhood, because you say street continuous. He was at the shooting range. So this is just a little confusing visually and spatially what's going on. All right. Second floor. I would just say mall. I don't know if it matters if it's a second or first floor. So the two killers, the snipers enter. They scan the area, checks his wristwatch. They take a seat at a table. A scientist, same age as the senator, sits on the empty chair. They take a seat at a table. You could maybe specify there's 3 chairs, and then he takes the empty chair, if that's important. Scientist, even if he doesn't have a name, his should be capital S. Gives Sarah a list. They check it, they shake hands and leave. I assume she and Timothy don't shake hands. They shake hands with the scientist. That should be made clear. Now, this So, in a twisted irony of fate, think about how you could visually show that on camera to the audience. And I would argue you probably can't. So, I would just say, as Sarah and Timothy leave, Tom brushes by them or something. I mean, they wouldn't ignore each other if they don't know each other, probably. There would be no point in mentioning that. So maybe, at the very least, take out the twisted irony of fate. Grabs a plate from the fast food. Not sure what that means. If he's ordering something and he's going down a cafeteria line. But apparently the food's already there. He eats, sips. This seems like it. I mean, if you think about a page a minute, each line is roughly a second, a little bit more. So when you think of going to a table, eating, sipping, grabbing a cell phone in basically 3 seconds or 4 seconds, that probably needs to be spaced out a little bit. He grabs his cell phone. Does he call someone or is he picking up a message? He says, recording, here we go. I assume he picks it up and redials. So he's going to talk, but first he grabs some French fries. I've lost everything in life. I assume he's leaving the message. I guess this is my note, like suicide note. They lose into the crowd. So Timothy, so they're still sitting there. The scientist comes and goes. They shake hands and leave. So if they're walking away and leaving, Tom passes them. And yet here we are, they're getting past his table. Surf through the people. It feels like not literally a first draft, but it just needs to be smoothed out. Like they lose into the crowd. They lose themselves, I guess. Surf through the people. I don't know that that's needed. A teen checks on Sarah, as in checks her out, I assume. So we don't know if this is a boy or a girl, but we assume it's a boy, and then we see that he has a girlfriend. Slaps him, period, gently. And then we're back at the table. So this is, I mean, think about shooting this. This is happening somewhere. This is happening somewhere else. Do we know it's his last meal? Maybe because what he said here, he's going to kill himself. He goes to the mall and has a final meal. Seems a little bit. What hurts? Is he still talking into the phone, I guess? This seems like a poor reason to kill himself if that's what he's going to do. So now we're somewhere else. So this is like kind of intercutting back and forth between the places. So they go on the first floor, they walk, men in black suits multiply. So I think I get what is happening here, but that's not how, I don't think it should be said. Men in black suits appear everywhere they look, something like that. And then they think that the general's ordered them there, but or whoever he is, military guy, and yet these are people in black suits, which is kind of strange because he told the soldiers or whatever, the officer, he told the officer to go kill him, and now we've got men in black. So that's not exactly clear. They tracked you. How does she know? By looking at his... Well, she grabs his phone. Yeah, I don't... I mean, you can obviously follow someone, but why didn't they follow her? I don't get it. Throws away the phone. People walk all over it. I don't know if that matters. Slams into a man in black. Does he punch him? Or does he, like, run into him? Timothy pulls back his silencer. What does that mean? Like cocks his gun? The agents corner the two. So the agents are the men in black, I guess, but they're not the officers. She nods. She grabs her sniper rifle. So they're in a mall and she's carrying around a sniper rifle. That seems a little bit unlikely unless they've got it in a backpack or a rucksack or something. Takes out enemy who I guess are the agents. People scream, flee. This just seems, without some more setup, this really kind of seems unlikely that she could be walking around the mall carrying a sniper rifle, however she's going to use it. Take cover behind a table. Do they tip it over, reload, plunge into action, kill a couple of agents? I mean, I don't think she needs to say anything. I guess the scene, I mean, not to say there's never been a gunfight in a mall, but the whole idea that she's carrying a rifle around the whole time, unless, again, she's got it hidden and then she pulls it out, seems a little bit odd. So they're just killing all these people. People are screaming or killing the agents. Tom runs along the crowd. Tom separates from the group. He takes an elevator. That seems a little bit awkward. So he goes, he runs along the crowd. Is he looking? So I assume he's looking down. He's seeing all these people get killed. I don't know if he sees Sarah and Timothy because they're on the run. He gets into an elevator with a couple people. Timothy receives bullet after bullet. So he's getting shot. They're still in the mall. Sarah takes out the people that are shooting him, drags him. But he's still alive. I don't know if she's literally dragging him. If he's taken several bullets, maybe she's pulling him along by the shirt collar. She stops and takes cover. An incoming hail of bullets falls on his knees. So he is standing, grabs his two guns. I just don't get visually a sense of what's going on, how this is playing out right here. So now he's outside he's in the parking lot. Interior parking lot. Is this a parking ramp? Is he running here? Squeezes his car keys, browses for his vehicle. I don't think he'd browse. That seems pretty placid. It feels like he would be glancing around or, hurriedly looking around to find it. But so this is either exterior parking lot or it's interior parking ramp, but that could be argued that that's still exterior. Guns down a few agents, but receives another bullet. He ignores it. That seems very unlikely. He would ignore getting shot. I mean, he could, barely flinch or something, but takes out the last agent, looks at Sarah. It's clear. Collapses on the floor, bleeds all over it. I mean, he'd be bleeding this whole time. They're too far to open fire. They approach, but they're too far to shoot at them. So Timothy's going to die. Sarah grabs his guns, walks to the exit. He doesn't run to the exit. I mean, again, visually, this just doesn't feel like it's completely thought through yet. So we're back interior, which may be interior or exterior. He gets to his car, attempts to unlock it, repeatedly fails, tries again, takes a deep breath. Sarah enters the scene. Sarah's here, enters the scene. Thomas unlocks his door and enters. Sarah increases the pace. Is she running? Is she walking? Enters the scene. I get she enters. I just visually, I guess I'm still a little bit lost. Places. Repeat, tries again. So he gets in his car, puts a key into the slot, as in the ignition, I assume. The engine starts. Does he have to turn, crank it? His head moves. His eyes follow the steel object. Sarah's gun. So he's in his car with his door closed. The window must be down. Sarah puts a gun to his head. So I think that could be said quicker than that. I have a feeling I'll probably read 10 pages and then send you this, and then you let me know if you think it's worth me continuing on. Sits in the other seat. Whoa. So, again, just visually confusing. I thought that she leaned in the driver's side, which was either open or the window was. She pointed a gun at his head. And then she sits on the other seat, which means she has to climb over him, or she's been on the other side the whole time, which it sounds like it is because she shuts her door. So this, again, just needs to be clarified. And I mean, the overall action is interesting. The guy gets killed. Sarah's found this guy who's down on his luck. He's ready to kill himself. He's at the mall. Sarah takes him basically as a getaway driver hostage. So, I mean, it's an interesting setup. It just feels like it needs to be tightened up, and it needs to be visually. It just needs to be, you need to just be able to picture it in your mind's eye. The person reading it, it's like, oh, ooh, ooh, boom, boom, boom. This is super cool. And just like this, Tom complies, which means he drives, but he moves the wheel. I don't know what that means. He turns the wheel. Drive, I mean, Tom floors it or something, and that's all we need to see. All right, back at the facility inside, and it's continuous again, which I don't know if that's really continuous, if you want that or not. Approaches the huge interactive computer panel. That sounds a little bit clunky. I mean, he crosses to a computer. He slides his hands across it. The officer joins up. I don't know what that means. The officer walks up next to him. The bombs are ready. This kind of comes out of the blue. They got away. It's funny that he delivers this line. You would assume the officer would run into the room breathless and yell, "They got away." And then he grabs the officer's gun and plays with it. I don't know what that means, and points it at him. He grabs the officer's gun and turns it on him. Traitors. And there is only one type of traitors I like. I assume Dad, please, sir, don't. I have a two-year-old daughter with a single shot, the dead traitor type. 2 soldiers come and drag off. So we got soldiers, we got men in black, we've got agents, we've got officers. So this, again, just kind of confusing. I mean, I understand what's happening. And this is, I do like that there's only one type of traitor I like. I would say traitor, singular. He probably knows he's got a 2-year-old daughter, maybe not. But this just, I don't know, he needs to, it feels like there's only one type of, if he's betrayed his trust, then it's implied that he's a traitor, sort of. But those two are a little bit mutually exclusive. But I like the idea of him saying there's only one kind of traitor I like, bang. And then he doesn't even need to deliver that line because it's apparent that he only likes the dead ones. So I get this, but this bombs are ready, just need their codes. I don't know if the two of them, Sarah and Timothy, have the codes. I don't know. It's a little bit mysterious. Pulls over close to the sidewalk. So maybe pulls up to the curb. Lowers a weapon. Now you take me to dinner. What? Looks straight into his eyes. Gesture elude control. He fails to look. Because I'll give you $1 million. I suppose I don't have a choice, right? You either do exactly what I say, and tomorrow you could be $1 million reach. This should be spelled out right here. Good grief, what the heck? I don't know why I keep doing that. Grabs her gun again. Where is it? She puts it down. I could kill you, dump your body, and find someone else. Where shall I take you for dinner? Starts the engine again. Why did he pull over in the first place, I guess? I don't understand why they're stopping. I can see them driving down the street, and they're driving down the street. We cut inside. He says, "What now?" And Sarah says, I need to eat. I'm hungry. Something. This feels like it's too much dialogue. Is this day or night? We don't know. Well, I guess it's, is it day or night? This is all continuous, which again, I don't think it really would be continuous. Unless it's like, so it's nighttime. I need to eat. Whoa. Why should I do this? Because if you don't, I'll kill you. Because if you do, I'll give you $1 million. That's the choice. And then he says, I don't really have a choice. So I think this could be shortened. Why should I help you with anything? Because if you don't, I'll dump your body somewhere and find someone else who will. Because if you don't, I'll find someone who will. And if you do, I'll give you $1 million. He makes the choice, and then he says, I know a great restaurant or something. So I think this could be cut down quite a bit. So basically we've got page 10. So the setup kind of, if you follow the kind of the save the cat or the inciting incident of these two kind of forced together by incidents, by events. I think the setup right now, it feels a little haphazard, and it needs to be clearer. I get what's going on and all that, but it just feels like it needs another pass through to make it visually make more sense. But the general setup, the guy's down on his luck, and he meets, who assume is a beautiful woman who kind of kidnaps him, makes him her getaway man, and I don't know if they're going to have some relationship or exactly what. So it's kind of a neat setup, but it just needs, I think it needs some work. All right, so that's 10 pages. I hope you're not playing against. I'll read a little bit more here. NSA director. Where are we going? NSA director? They're going to see him? If I don't tell you something, it means you don't need to know it. You don't have to know it. I kind of like this. So they've come to eat. He drops a fork, grabs it back, eats. They're going to go see the NSA director. They sip wine, pretends to drop her knife, picks up this, and they both lean behind the table. They lean under the table, passes him a gun. She grabs a knife, and they both get back. You can practicing. I want to be a movie star. I assume he's joking here. He knows how to use a gun because he's practicing to be a movie star. Or he wants to be a movie star. What kind of movie action they finished? I mean, the chances of her giving him a gun in a restaurant under a table, knowing that he could use it to kill her or wound her or do something. I think it's a little too soon. I would assume that it would wait until they're in the middle of some sticky situation and he's like having a Harry and all worried. And then she says, do you know, she just hands him a gun. Do you know how to use it? And then maybe he uses it right then, or he doesn't use it right then. But I don't understand why she would give him this gun in the restaurant. It seems a little bit odd. So 40 minutes. So I'm going to just stop there, and you can listen to this, look at it, see what you think, if it's helpful. And then maybe if I read some more, I'll just sort of read through it without giving all these comments maybe. So I guess in short, I think it's an interesting premise of how they get together. Kind of neat to see where they're going and what the adventure is, but the plot itself feels a little not really, I don't know if it's confusing, if it's a little convoluted, if it's a little, there's not enough information. And I know you don't want to give everything away at the beginning, but we've got codes and we've got bombs and we've got the NSA, we've got a general, we've got a senator, we got those hookers who ran off but can assumedly identify the people who shot them, but maybe not. So there's a lot going on, and I just feel like it needs to be a little more grounded and a little more apparent kind of where we're going, and maybe a little work on some of the dialogue too. So those are my thoughts for what they're worth, and let me know. Thanks.